Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before I begin this video, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, give it a like. Don't feel like it will help you in any way, or someone that you may know, please share the video. Now today I'm working on my Lexus IS350 and I am in the process of replacing the front strut assembly. Yesterday I did a backside, which I also did a video on. And then today I will be replacing the front strut assembly or coilover, whichever you have. I have a coilover, as well as replacing the upper control arm, because if you remove the upper control arm, it just makes it a whole lot easier to install the strut assembly. That is what I will be doing today, and I will show you step by step on how to go about it. To remove your strut assembly or your coilover, whichever one you got, I'm going to start by removing this lower castle nut on the knuckle, connecting the ball joint to the knuckle, and I'm going to remove the upper control arm as well, because I'm replacing that, and that'll make the whole installation, removal and installation process much easier. And then right here, small little bracket for your brake line, 10mm head bolt, I'm just gonna put this back on here so I don't lose it. To remove this castle nut, this is 18mm, and I'm just gonna break it loose here with the breaker bar. To remove your bolt from the lower control arm connecting your strut to it, you will need a 19mm. This is a 19mm nut, and the actual bolt is 17mm. So I got a socket ratchet set up on the back side holding it, and I'll hit it with the impact on this side. Alright. And then more likely you'll probably need a, oh, never mind.
Still say what you're gonna say.
Comes right off. You might need a punch to drive that through if it isn't coming out easy like I was able to. And then it's very possible that you might need to disconnect your sway bar links as well. But for now, let's go to the top side and undo the bolts on top. And to undo your strut assembly or coilover from the top side, you will have to undo these nuts, which are 14mm on mine. It may be different on yours depending on what kind of setup you have. And I'm just going to break them loose with the breaker bar. Alright, so after you get your castle nut removed from the steering knuckle, you are pretty much ready to remove your strut. And this would be a good time to disconnect your ABS sensor. What you want to do is get your flatbed screwdriver and bring it underneath here. Wedge it underneath that little tab, like that. Pry up a bit and then pull. and it comes right out, or wiggle it out. Okay, so we'll get that out the way. And then next we're gonna have to disconnect our sway bar link to be able to drop the lower control arm a little bit more to be able to pull out our strut. To remove your lower sway bar link, you are going to need a wrench. I have a ratcheting wrench, 17mm, to actually undo the nut, and I have a 40T hex bit connected to a ratchet to hold in the bolt, which it has an indentation for, like that. So again, the wrench is holding the nut, and then the hex bit will hold on the bolt, which has a 40T insert inside. We're fully ready to take our strut assembly out of the car. I ended up disconnecting the sway bar link at the actual sway bar, not at the lower control arm. So again, disconnected at the sway bar, and I'm going to untie my little makeshift bungee cord. But as I'm unscrewing the nuts for the strut, I'm also holding it from the bottom with my other hand. Still holding it, and we come down here and wiggle it on up like that, and that is your old front strut assembly or coilover. Now to remove our upper control arm is much easier now that we got our strut out, and you're going to remove these two bolts right here, size 14mm head, and I got a long reach box and wrench. And it is going to come down on you once you loosen to past a certain point. Like that. And out comes our upper control arm. And now we are ready to put a new one in. Please make sure that you do have the correct control arm on the correct side. This one says right, obviously going on the right side. Some of them don't say, so just compare your old upper control arm to your new one, because it is specific to right or left side. Here's my new upper control arm, and this one is not marked on which side it goes, but it looks exactly the same as my old one. So this is the one I'm going to install on the right side. And then I'm going to go back and tighten it, but not fully tighten down until I have my strut installed. here we have our new strut assembly. I always like to take off the mounting bolts, obviously, to be able to install it and put them near where I'm going to need them. Okay, so guys, so after you get your strut assembly installed, put your lower bolt down there, lower mounting bolt, and then now we're ready to connect our knuckle to the ball joint from the upper control arm. So I'm just gonna hand tighten these, and we'll come back and torque these down. Now we're ready to tighten down our castanet for the upper control arm ball joint, and I actually have the lower control arm on a jack. So I'm just going to jack it up a bit, and that's going to cause this to go up. And as you can see, it's going up. And now we just do this. Until you see the little hole on the threads. To be able to put your cotter pin in. Just a tad bit more to be able to see, get our cotter pin in. And right there. So we should be able to get a cotter pin in, and don't forget, we still got to come back and tighten our bolts for the upper control arm. Like that. So not really a cotter pin, more like a clip. See, now it's secure. And the other side. And we're gonna leave our sway bar link disconnected still, because that will throw off the tightening on the other side. So we'll do that last. Don't forget to your ABS sensor goes here. And then obviously don't forget to connect your sensor. Make sure it clicks in. Now all we gotta do is tighten down our lower mounting bolt, and we're done with this side.
What'd you just do?
I tightened down the lower mounting bolt that connects the lower control arm to the strut. After you got everything installed, we're ready to tighten down our nuts for the top of the strut. Do it first and break it more. And replace all your plastics, and don't forget to tighten down everything down where you worked on your wheels. Drop down the car and you're good to go.